The Cold War, a time of global tension. Two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, locked in a nuclear standoff. But beneath the waves, a different kind of war was being waged. A silent, secret war fought by submarines and their crews. These were not the grand battleships of old. These were stealthy predators designed to slip unseen through the ocean depths. Their mission to gather intelligence, track enemy movements, and, if necessary, unleash unimaginable destruction. The stakes were incredibly high. A single mistake, a single miscalculation, could have plunged the world into nuclear war. The men who served on these submarines carried the weight of the world on their shoulders. They were the silent guardians of their nations, the unseen warriors of the deep. Submarines were not just weapons, they were strategic assets of immense value. Armed with nuclear missiles, they became the ultimate deterrent. The threat they posed, the ability to strike from anywhere in the world, at any time, kept both sides in check. This concept, known as mutually assured destruction or MAD, was terrifying in its simplicity. If one side launched a nuclear attack, the other would retaliate in kind. The result would be annihilation for both. Submarines with their stealth and firepower were the linchpin of this deadly equation. But their role went beyond deterrence. Submarines were also the eyes and ears of their nations, conducting reconnaissance missions deep within enemy territory. They tapped underwater communication cables, gathered intelligence on naval movements, and tracked the development of new weapons systems. In this hidden underwater theater, the fate of the world often hung in the balance. Serving on a submarine during the Cold War was not for the faint of heart. It was a demanding and dangerous life, requiring extraordinary courage, skill, and mental fortitude. Submariners, often called the silent service, were a breed apart. Confined for months at a time in cramped, claustrophobic conditions, they endured long periods of isolation, darkness, and constant danger. The threat of enemy attack was ever present, and the pressure on these men was immense. They were highly trained professionals, masters of their craft. They had to be experts in everything from sonar and navigation to nuclear physics and weapon systems, but beyond technical expertise, they needed unwavering nerves and an unshakable faith in their shipmates. In the unforgiving environment of the deep, their lives depended on each other. While the threat of nuclear war loomed large, much of the Cold War submarine activity revolved around espionage. Both the United States and the Soviet Union were desperate to learn each other's secrets, and the ocean floor, crisscrossed by vital communication cables, became a battleground for intelligence gathering. American submarines, equipped with specialized equipment, would tap into these cables, intercepting and recording Soviet communications. This risky operation, known as special reconnaissance, provided invaluable insights into Soviet military capabilities, strategy, and political intentions. The risks were enormous. Detection by Soviet forces could mean capture, or worse, a confrontation that could escalate into a full-blown conflict. Yet the intelligence gathered was deemed so vital that these missions continued throughout the Cold War. One of the most daring and successful espionage operations of the Cold War was Operation Ivy Bells. In 1971, the USS Halibut, a specially modified submarine, was dispatched to the Sea of Okhotsk, a Soviet stronghold. Their mission to locate and tap into a critical underwater communication cable used by the Soviet Pacific Fleet. This cable, the Soviets believed, was impossible to access, lying as it did in heavily defended waters. The Halibut crew, however, proved them wrong. Using advanced technology and incredible skill, they located the cable and attached a sophisticated listening device. This device, disguised to blend in with the seabed, intercepted and recorded Soviet communications for months. The intelligence gathered from Operation Ivy Bells was a treasure trove for American intelligence agencies. It provided critical insights into Soviet naval capabilities and intentions, giving the U.S. a significant strategic advantage. While the U.S. Navy celebrated the success of operations like Ivy Bells, a devastating betrayal was unfolding within its ranks. John Walker, a Navy warrant officer with access to highly classified information, had been selling secrets to the Soviets for years. Walker's espionage had a profound impact on the Cold War's underwater battlefield. Among the secrets he compromised were codes used by the U.S. Navy to communicate with its submarines. This gave the Soviets the ability to decipher American naval communications, potentially jeopardizing submarine missions and putting lives at risk. The Walker spy ring was eventually uncovered in 1985, sending shockwaves through the U.S. intelligence community. Walker's treachery highlighted the vulnerability of even the most closely guarded secrets and the devastating consequences of betrayal. The dangers of submarine warfare were starkly illustrated in August 2000, when the Russian submarine Kursk sank in the Barents Sea. All 118 crew members perished in the disaster, which sent shockwaves around the world. While the exact cause of the sinking remains disputed, the most widely accepted theory is that a faulty torpedo detonated inside the submarine's torpedo room, triggering a catastrophic explosion. The Kursk sank quickly, coming to rest on the seabed over 350 feet below the surface. The tragedy highlighted the inherent risks of submarine warfare, even in peacetime. It also exposed the shortcomings of the Russian Navy's rescue capabilities and its reluctance to accept international assistance in the crucial hours after the sinking. The Kursk disaster served as a grim reminder of the unforgiving nature of the deep and the human cost of Cold War's legacy. Section 8. Technology and Terror: The Rise of Nuclear Submarines. The Cold War witnessed a dramatic escalation in submarine technology, particularly with the development of nuclear propulsion and nuclear-armed missiles. Nuclear submarines, unlike their diesel-electric predecessors, could stay submerged for months at a time, limited only by food and supplies. They were faster, quieter, and could travel vastly greater distances, making them far more formidable weapons platforms. The introduction of nuclear missiles, capable of traveling thousands of miles and delivering devastating payloads, added a terrifying new dimension to submarine warfare. These submarines became instruments of terror, capable of unleashing unimaginable destruction from anywhere in the world. The nuclear arms race had a profound impact on the Cold War, driving military spending and pushing the world closer to the brink of nuclear annihilation. Submarines, once primarily reconnaissance tools, had become the ultimate weapons of mass destruction. Section 9. Cat and Mouse: Anti-Submarine Warfare and Evasion Tactics. As submarines became more sophisticated, so too did the methods used to detect and counter them. Anti-submarine warfare, or ASW, became a top priority for both sides, leading to the development of new technologies and tactics. Sonar, which uses sound waves to detect objects underwater, became increasingly advanced, allowing for the detection of submarines at greater distances. Aircraft equipped with sonar buoys and magnetic anomaly detectors, or MAD, scoured the oceans, hunting for their submerged prey. Submarine designers responded by developing new ways to evade detection. Submarines were designed with quieter propulsion systems and anechoic coatings to absorb sonar waves. They also employed sophisticated evasion tactics, using the ocean's layers and currents to mask their movements. The Cold War's underwater battlefield became a complex game of cat and mouse, with each side constantly striving to outmaneuver and outsmart the other. Section 10. A Legacy of Secrets: The Cold War's Enduring Underwater Mysteries. The end of the Cold War in 1991 did not bring an end to the intrigue surrounding its underwater battleground. Many of the era's most closely guarded secrets remain classified to this day, fueling speculation and conspiracy theories. Unexplained submarine incidents, rumors of lost vessels, and whispers of secret missions continue to captivate historians and amateur sleuths alike. The ocean depths, it seems, hold their secrets tight. The declassification of Cold War-era archives has shed light on some of these mysteries, but many questions remain unanswered. The full extent of submarine espionage, the true nature of certain incidents, and the fate of some lost vessels may never be fully known. The Cold War's underwater theater, it seems, still holds the power to intrigue and mystify us. Section 11. Conclusion: The Unseen War That Shaped the World. The Cold War's underwater conflict was a war fought in darkness and secrecy, a world of stealth, technology, and unimaginable tension. It was a war that could have ended the world as we knew it, yet one that played out largely unseen by the public eye. The submarine crews who served during this era faced unimaginable pressure, their courage and sacrifice often unacknowledged. They were the silent guardians of their nations, the unseen warriors who helped prevent a global catastrophe. While the Cold War is over, its legacy lives on. The technologies developed during that era continue to shape naval warfare today, and the lessons learned from those tense years continue to inform strategic thinking. The story of the Cold War's underwater theater is a reminder of the high stakes, the human cost, and the enduring fascination of this hidden conflict that shaped the course of history.